De mare.
All right. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Decolonizing Your Expression as a Visible Leader. If you are here live with us, if you are catching the replay, please tell us where in the world you are coming in from. Say hello. I see some folks watching live right now, so go ahead. Drop a hello in the comments. Say where in the world you are located right now. This is the beginning of Africa Week 2020. This is an opportunity for us to be showing up together in community and to really honor what each of us brings. So whether or not you're presenting, whether or not you didn't even hear of this until right now, until today, this is an opportunity for you to use your voice in community. Let yourself be expressed through the chat, through liking things, through commenting, through clicking the reaction button, whether it's a like or a love or a hate, or I guess there's no hate. Angry, that's the one, angry button. Let yourself be expressed right here, okay? So throughout this entire week, this is just day one. Let yourself really show up for yourself, show up in community for each other, and then let yourself shine. Because that is what we get to experience together in community. Africa Rising is about letting ourselves be seen, letting ourselves be heard, allowing ourselves to be witnessed. So I want to thank you for being here. So excited to be part of this, so excited to see you here as well. My name is Dennen-Young MA. I support leaders into their boldest, badass expression as the highest quality leadership so that they can create the impact and income they desire while liberating themselves, their lifestyles, and also empowering their own communities, our own communities, yeah? And one thing that I see in the personal development industry, in a lot of spiritual circles, I feel like as well, at least where I am in the United States, very much Western thought, New Age spirituality out here in California, is that so much personal development stops at the individual, right? It's like, you do better for yourself, the end. And then you've succeeded. And really the power of personal development, just like the power of knowledge, is the ability to share it. When it comes to personal development, being empowered as an individual, being sovereign and making choices from your sovereignty in alignment with your values enables you to bridge the gap between self and other, to really come into community, to come together for collective empowerment. That is part of what is being called forth right now as old systems crumble here in 2020 when this is being recorded, during coronavirus, during upheaval and protesting and an election coming up in the United States, which we know becomes world politics and international politics. All of these things are calling leaders just like you up into your truth, into offering your gifts, the gifts that only you can offer, because it's only through your uniqueness that those exact gifts in that exact way can come through and be translated. So whether or not you've ever thought of yourself as a leader, I want to invite you to try it on, because you just being here on the internet tells me that you have a sphere of influence. Being a sovereign human, a sovereign being who makes conscious decisions around how you show up, how you express yourself, how you carry yourself, and how you take action in the world, having a sphere of influence, whether those are friends on the internet, family on the internet, social media following, even if you have none of those things and you just comment on this video on YouTube or you comment on this post right here, you are creating ripple effects simply by how you take action in the world. And so I invite you to own that. You are already a leader, even if you never thought yourself to be, even if no one's ever deemed you or given you the title. Part of what we're going to talk about is releasing our attachment to the need for external validation in certain ways. So even if no one's ever told you that you are a leader before, let this be your shift. I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you, you are a leader. So if you're watching us right now, go ahead and say yes in the chat to this. Like, I am a leader. I am willing to honor the leader that I am. Say yes in the chat. I also want to make sure the comments are working here on Facebook, so I'm checking that too. If you're joining us, if you're just joining us live, go ahead and say where in the world you're also coming in from. We want to honor all of the places that we live. Right now, we want to honor the land that we occupy. And before I go any further, I want to honor the ancestors. My ancestors, your ancestors, the collective ancestors. And also the ancestors who cared for the land that we are now on before we came here. So here I'm in the United States, in Oakland, California, USA. This is originally a local. So if you also are familiar with the indigenous tribes, you have original, depending on what area of the world you're speaking from, go ahead and share in the chat as well, or in the comments as well, whose land you are currently occupying. We want to give reverence to those who have taken care of the physical land that we are now on, that we are occupying. And if this is a new concept to you, if you've never really understood who came to the land and who was on the land before you arrived here, you do a really simple Google search. You can literally just type the name of the town or city or location that you're in, and put indigenous tribe, aboriginal, depending on what part of the world you're in. Whatever word for your region of the world represents those who came before you, those who were very, very safely the land. And then, you know, at Google speed, at 0.002 whatever seconds, you will literally see the answer. You'll see who was on the sound before you. So welcome those who are joining. Go ahead and share in the chat where you're coming from and whose land you are on. The indigenous honoring and the doing the indigenous thing. So I'm just going to invite the collective breath to honor the blood that runs through our veins, through our ancestors, that they lived and died so that we could live and be here today. Honoring all that they've done and they did not do, all that was spoken and unspoken, expressed and not expressed, so that we here in 2020 could show up and carry out our own missions and heal our own lineages, empower our own communities on our own accord. If you are with me right now, say yes in the chat. And while you do that, I'm going to invite collective breath, just a moment, where we can really honor all of those who have come before us. And we can also honor the ancestors that we will one day also be. Wonderful. Okay, so for the next little while, I'm going to be taking you, and I say a little while, by the way, because I know we have a certain amount of time allotted for this. And I'm a strong believer in divine timing, meaning that if what I need to say, what I'm here to express, what's here to come through, comes out way faster than I intend, then we're going to wrap it up early. And if not, then we will obviously be in the flow of the schedule that is set for today throughout this week. So for the next little while, I'm going to take you behind the scenes, okay? Behind the scenes of what emerging and visible leaders experience. So I've spent time with incredible leaders around the world in various industries, from the former head of public health in the United States to famous singers, Grammy award-winning producers, television and movie actors, directors, freaking Joe Biden, because I'm from Delaware, and my entire childhood he was the senator that represented Delaware. So I actually got to speak to him a number of times. I feel like I kind of know him. Also angel investors, award-winning authors, the list goes on. And while in the public, we see only a certain image or persona of someone. It's really easy to put our leaders, the people that we see, and people that we admire, and people that we feel aligned with, people from their values. It's really easy to put them on a pedestal. And when you put people on a pedestal, it creates not only does it create a separation between the idea of what it means for you to be in your greatest leadership, even to claim the notion that you can be a leader. Not only does it create separation in those two places, it also creates a sense of hierarchy, which then you are consciously or unconsciously placing yourself lower on hierarchy. And this is what I call pedestalization. When we go to people, throw the folks up on a pedestal, they're human just like you and me, but we throw them on a pedestal because we see them consistently in the public eye. We like the image that they present. We don't see the normal facets that we see from our friends or our family, or that we experience in our day-to-day lives. And so this is why I want to take you behind the scenes. Part of, for those of you who are new to me, part of my goal and brand and message, what I stand for in the world, is what I say, hashtag normalize the journey. Because stepping into visibility, stepping into our leadership, this is a journey, yeah? You don't just wake up one day and be the head of the president of a company or the head of a movement, or, right? Like there's the day that there's the tipping point where you become that, but there's a journey to prepare yourself in order to get there, to feel like that you're supported to actually do it, to actually have the resources, whether that's fans, following, attention, the money, the love, the affection, whatever it is that you need. Maybe it's just literally time to have rest and do it yourself. But it's a journey. Yeah. I think so, unfortunately, what you see, if you think of popular movies, for example, especially American movies, because they tend to become there's kind of like this cultural imperialism that most people in the world consider American movies, which is why I'm using this example, where there's some movie where there are people, they want to win the event or win the award, or there's a big competition or exciting climactic event at the end. And in a 2-hour movie, you get a 2-minute montage of the journey, right? Of the actual, seeing someone wake up at 6 a.m. every day and working out, seeing them go through the journey, actually have the experiences of trying and failing and trying and doing a little bit better and trying and not getting it, and then seeing the breakthrough. All of this is condensed into 2 minutes of a 2-hour movie. And in the same way that that's how we see the experience of the journey in movies, this is also the experience that we tend to have on social media, where we do not see people's day in and day out. people like to share their grand success, right? Maybe there's one story here and there that's like, things were rough for me. But for the most part, we see, generally speaking, glossy images of how people have succeeded, of their accomplishments, of things that society had deemed, you know, things that we want to achieve, that we deem worthy or valuable or a thing to aspire to, right? What we do not see is that what we do not see is the day in and day out of being, no matter what your role is, how coupled your image is, your work is, or not, at the end of the day, we all still human, right? We all have to go to the bathroom, we have to go to sleep, we have to eat, we dream, we have fears, we have goals, we have people we care about, we have things we care about, we have insecurities, right? This is what it is to be human. And if you take nothing else from this entire time we have together, I want you to take this, that we need more than ever leaders, or just people, they don't have to call themselves leaders, but they are, people who are willing to lead with their humanity, right? So I introduced myself not with the titles and labels and the accolades. I've got some phenomenal accolades, okay? And in the new paradigm that we're stepping into in this world, as the old paradigms start to crumble, what we need are people who are willing to lead with the truth of who they are, with the humanity that they bring, because this is where we will bridge the countless divides that we are so acutely aware of in the world today. Okay. So if you're watching this on the replay with me and you're with me right now, say yes in the chat. This is important, okay? Because, and this goes back to this definition of leadership, the reason that only you can bring the unique leadership you can bring is that there's only one you. And when you lead with that, you are offering the best gifts that you have to offer to your community, to the world, and honestly to yourself. Letting yourself express those gifts and those talents and those skills and those things that you've wanted to learn, right? And those things that you've always been attracted to anyway. Letting yourself lean into those and embrace those in a world that teaches us and tells us we're supposed to be someone else, we're supposed to act a certain way, we're supposed to cater to whiteness, we're gonna get into that. We're supposed to, speak like this and not speak like that, and all the things, all the ways that we are taught to tone police ourselves in order to cater to this idea of what leadership is, of what success looks like, of what, quote, professional is, right? Of what it means to be a good person, what it means to be ladylike, what it means to be a good guy, right? All of these notions, I want to challenge you to reconsider, were they designed for you? Do they align with your values? When you close your eyes and you consider your definition of a leader, who do you see? When you consider the definition of someone who is successful, what does that person look like? What do they do? Who are they in the world? And is that person you? Because if it's not, if the image that you see is not someone who inspires you and moves you toward that, if you don't like what you see, those words all need redefining. And frankly, they probably do anyway, because of how toxic it is, the cultures and the systems of oppression that we've been taught to live under and try to support ourselves into in order for a false sense of safety. So I invite you to reconsider, especially if you've been on to this thinking you want a leader. Well, definitely want to invite you to reconsider that. Okay? Because I don't need to know you. have a feeling, you make conscious decisions, you decide to show up to you are negative. There's an opportunity to embrace it, to really create the life that you want. I'm going to go on. I'm going to say cheers to that. Cheers, leaders. I said water, not the wine. This is tea. This is definitely tea. It is a revolutionary act to take time and to take space in a world that tells us we must rush. So I'm going to do that one more time. Cheers. So good. Okay. I actually just got lost in my tea. I was like, what am I talking about? That's the best. That's my favorite. Okay, so normalizing the relationship. The more you choose to step into your leadership, your own unique way of being, the more you claim your voice, the more you claim what it is you want to do in the world, more importantly, who you want to be in the world, first and foremost for yourself, and also in your community, your family, work environment, etc. As you step into this more and more, you're going to face more fear. You're going to face more people telling you who and how they think you should be. Okay? So I really want you to move into the decolonization, which is part of the title, and your reclamation. What does it mean? How do you do it? We're going to go through it. And we're also going to talk about the three types of relationships that must evolve as we do. These are things that nobody talks about. And we need to talk about it. This is what it means to go behind the scenes. And people don't talk about it because it's behind the scenes. So we're bringing it out. I'm bringing it out. Hello. So that you can really get clear for yourself as you step into more visibility, as you step into the leadership that you want to claim, what needs to happen for you to feel most supported, for you to be able to do it in a way that is sustainable. Because what happens otherwise is you might achieve something that you're really looking forward to, whether that is a financial goal, receiving in your business, whether that is having a certain type of relationship, whether that's being seen in a certain way, having a certain following, fan base, etc., etc. You get the point. You achieve a certain level, and then if you do not have that support system in place, also including your body, and we're going to talk about the nervous system's role in this in a bit, what's going to happen is that won't be sustainable. It'll be short-lived, and you'll come back to where you were. So having the support structures in place for you, everything from friends and community to your physical body, to your mindset, to your spirit, to your strategy, all of these things play into your ability to sustain the type of success that you want to have and the type of visibility that you want to embody as a leader. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Yay, I get really excited just thinking about it. So as I mentioned, first and foremost, you are a leader. I don't want to throw the title on you. I'm not going to label you. So I invite you to try it on. I am honoring your sovereignty and your ability to lead yourself in the world and also to lead others should you feel called. Now let's talk about decolonization. So if you're not familiar with the term, decolonization as it pertains to us as individuals really looks like the personalized version of what you imagine around decolonization in the world. So of course, Europeans are doing their thing back in the centuries ago. We're still doing it in different ways. But the way that we stand against decolonization is European countries like they're going to Africa, conquering land, they're doing building and mining and extracting resources, all the things that they're familiar with, drawing out their own ideas of lines intentionally to separate tribes from another, so that the European folks that were there, the settlers, would maintain power in places that that did not belong to them. This is the colonization. And then those people, the colonized folks, needed to assimilate whatever way to and cater to or be underneath the power of the colony. And when these colonies gained independence, not all colonies have, but the colonies were gained their independence, their liberation, their freedom through a revolutionary war or through an experience, those territories, these regions, those nations, these now countries are what we call deep colonies. Right? So sure, you can take any example. The one that came most quickly in my mind is the country of Suriname, which used to be a colony of Holland, of the Netherlands. So they they claimed their independence in 1975. So it wasn't actually that long ago if you think about it. And the same way that countries and nations and people claim their independence from the physical colonization of another country is the same way that we as individuals reclaim our independence and liberation from the ways that we have been taught based on systems of oppression that we all live in. I don't care what country you're in, this is worldwide, that we have all been taught to internalize in our mind, in our bodies, and in our spirits. Yeah? So decolonization is essentially a process, an experience, a journey of liberating yourself, mind, body, spirit, from those things that have colonized you, that have kept you, oh, there it is, excuse me, that have kept you restrained, that have kept you back, that have kept you from your own experience of your liberation. And the beautiful thing about decolonization journey is that there's always another layer to evolve. There's always another layer, meaning that there's always another way to experience your liberation. There's always a next step. There's always more liberation waiting for you on the other side of your first liberation. So another reason why we talk about #normalize the journey is that you get to have this experience of reclaiming for yourself who you are, how you want to show up. And let me give some concrete examples so it's not just like, in the air, conceptualized, abstract, and not real. So as an example, let's see, so I look at myself right now and see that my hair is fuzzy. My hair is in its natural state. This is me decolonized. Giving it a picture of my hair is decolonized. I used to straighten my entire life. In fact, I did not see my hair in its natural state like 20 years old. Some of my hair. Listen, I literally have no idea what my no idea. You have a part of your body that is so visible, right? Because I live in a world or in a culture where I do share people can see my hair, it's not covered, right? To live 20 years of your life without seeing a very visible, very large part of your body, that is colonization. The idea, subconscious idea that I was less than, or the language that I spoke was less than, and I needed to make sure I grammar Nazi'd my way to perfection as a linguist, and that I needed to dress a certain way and look perfect and straighten the hair and do this. We all know this so well, right? This is the colonized. This is how one shows up still colonized. So decolonizing is letting go of that, letting go of perfectionism, letting go of the ways that you've contorted your body, letting go of smiling to appease someone else, to make them, to hope that they don't think you're dangerous because of their own racism, right? These are examples of ways that we can decolonize ourselves, is letting ourselves not do those things anymore. Yeah. And so why does it benefit you to do this? Obviously, or not obviously, I'll share. When you're on this journey, you gain self-trust, right? Because let's keep it real, it's scary to go out of what we've been taught is our sense of safety, proximity to whiteness, proximity to money, proximity to old structures of power. Even in all Black countries, these same paradigms are at play. Systems of oppression happen worldwide. So you can apply this to your exact country or region or wherever you might be from. So it's not just a white-Black thing. This is a male-female thing. This is, we can look at all the demographics and see who carries the marginalized identity in those circumstances. Systemic oppression operates with all of them. So the decolonization that you get to claim for yourself is honoring and acknowledging where you've allowed yourself to be contorted, really, where you've allowed yourself to say, I'm not going to show up in this way, or it's not safe, or I have shame around this, or I'm guilty because I'm XYZ, or I look a certain way, all of those things, right? So as you move through your fears, because it's fucking scary, right? To go against what we've learned is safety for us and is security. So I want to name really explicitly that you have to move through fears in order to do this. You have to face your fears consistently in order to do this. As you do this, you're on your decolonization journey, you get to build your self-trust to show up in greater leadership, to show up with your message more strongly, to show up in your uniqueness of sharing that message more widely. Yeah, you have more self-acceptance. Those pretty much go hand in hand. As that builds, you embody your leadership more, you embody your presence, you own your intrinsic power without the need for the external validation. The external validation is what has kept us in the colonized state, right? Because we're trying to attach our worthiness to this idea of security that came from being someone else or trying to be someone else. Also, you get to reclaim other forms of intelligence, the intelligence that lives within your physical body. Your body carries so much wisdom that it is communicating to you all the time. Getting back into connection with your body, or into deeper connection with your body, improving that relationship, improving your relationship to your intuition, building your intuition and trusting it, right? Because intelligence is not just the books you've read and the letters behind your name. That is makes me mad. Like, this is, oppression at its finest. The idea that we have to make sure everybody knows how all the degrees that we've achieved and the things. Man, I remember my parents, or what side? It's like my maternal grandfather's side. You literally got introduced to people with your name and the university you graduated from. Like, this is Lisa Young. She graduated Hofstra, magna cum, or whatever, summa cum laude, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was so closely tied to my identity. It came right after my name. It might as well have been my name. And these are the ways that we're taught to understand our value, understand our worth. So you get to dismantle that. You get to reclaim other forms of intelligence that you inherently carry that are not based on anyone else's external validation of you, not based on a certificate, not based on what someone else has said or done in those structures. Because where does the power lie? Who wrote the books that got you to or whatever you do? Even just like how it's those are the power structures that keep us. There's this opportunity to dismantle where you've been turned out that things you might want to keep in employment, your heritage, your identity. Maybe there are archetypes in you that have never been expressed. Maybe there are emotions that you've been taught are not okay to share, right? And you Black women, for example, and it's not showing tears as a man, and crying, and we're talking about weakness. We're talking dangerous to be unbelievable because I said it's dangerous to be human. This part of your humanity is dangerous and you hide it. Right? So as you reclaim it, what happens is you get to be more in your unique expression. Also, you literally get to be more in your power because here's why. Because when you are trying to suppress, repress, reject, ignore, and otherwise bypass the truth of your humanity, whether it is by through emotion, through expression, through what parts of you are letting people see and not see, there is so much energy that it takes to hold that back. And I heard someone say once, I can't remember who, unfortunately, but it was this great concept of trying to hold a beach ball under the water. That takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of effort. Whether it's conscious or you've done it for so long that it becomes unconscious, that takes a lot of effort, period. Okay? So letting yourself reclaim all the parts of your humanity, this is how you decolonize. This is how you dismantle the systems of systemic oppression that live within you, that live within us as those who carry marginalized identities. Yeah? So you can reclaim your own history, your identity, your gifts, your spiritual gifts, your intuition, reclaim your body, hello, you every facet of it. You can recognize this and relationships, how you see yourself, and you're going to see the experiences that you have as you encounter in the world. And it also affects how you consciously choose to show up in your life. Knowing that you live the life that you have to feel this and not say yes. In your body, that's right. Absolutely. So I do a little brief sound tone and music meditation. So I invite you, if you are seated already, if you're driving, if you are in a place where you're able to close your eyes, take a moment for yourself. We're going to set an intention on who it is that you want to be, how it is that you want to show up. So if I'm in this place, you can even lie down if you want. Get to have this. Feel how you want to feel. You get to feel good. Other things that we said is really our ability to feel good, to experience pleasure, to be in joy, to not be suffering in order to succeed. Y'all, that's based on slavery and the Industrial Revolution in the world. That's a story for another time, but just know that it is. Ooh, that tastes good. So as you're getting cozy, I invite you to close your eyes. If you're not able to close your eyes or it doesn't feel safe, you can just take a soft gaze. The intention is that you so whatever helps you clear out distractions. Take a deep breath into your belly, focusing on this. Who it is that you want to be. And when you breathe in, just hold it there for a moment. And then exhale. We're going to do this one more time. And when you breathe in, I want you to focus on an intention. This idea of who it is that you want to be. Or that you want to be more of if you already are. I When you breathe in, focus on breathing that into your body, like the oxygen that's filling your lungs and running through your blood, running through your veins. And then as you exhale, I want you to focus on releasing all of that which does not support you in being that person, being that version of you, the truest, authentic version of you. So go ahead and breathe in, and hold. And then when you exhale, make an audible sound. I felt like there was a little bit of movement that was being called for folks. So if you want to kind of twist your torso, is what I'm getting. A torso twist and a shoulder roll is what's coming up for folks. So our shoulders, our traps right there where our neck meets our shoulders is where we carry a lot of our burdens, the sense of responsibility, especially through our ancestral lines. Can be carried right there. Also in the mid to lower back, our sense of safety, security, stability, our sense of being supported. So if there's a part of your body that's calling for movement, go ahead and move it around, and then invite one more breath into this consciously, and then I'm going to play some music, sound healing. And through this sound healing, the reason that we use these bowls, these singing bowls, I have a Tibetan bowl here from Nepal, as well as 2 crystal bowls. And what they do is they actually take your brain waves into the theta state, which is where your subconscious lives. Now, your subconscious is where a lot of our decision making happens without us realizing it. So this is an opportunity for you to actually choose to submit into your subconscious, or reprogram is the common word that's used. Reprogram your subconscious in a way that actually supports you. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to take one more breath in with that intention of who and how you want to be in the world. Breathing in. Up, and then release with an audible sigh or sound. Beautiful. You can go ahead and just carry on normally, breathing, still focusing on yourself, focusing on this version of who you become. As you continue with your eyes closed and or with a soft gaze, I either tap into your heart. There's a bit of anxiety coming up, which is fine. I'm just going to clear. Because what's underneath the anxiety and the fear is the truth of who you are, right there in your heart. It is our ego and the attachment to these old ways of being, the ways that we've been taught to be, the ways that we've been colonized to be. Those are the places where the anxiety comes up. Because it is scary to choose differently than we've been taught. It is scary to consider that we might defy some element of our culture or our family. We might be the first ones to do something different and break a chain. But when you do, you are healing not only yourself, not only your family. We are healing lineages. We are healing communities. All right, take a deep breath into your belly for that. Just let yourself feel grounded as you breathe. Let yourself feel comfortable, knowing that you are not in imminent danger in this moment, that your safety is intact. And you can come back to this moment whenever you decide. One more breath in, and then when you release, when you exhale, just go, shake it out with a physical sound. Anything that gets stuck in the body, especially shake it out. And when we vocalize these we are really, really the vibration that the body do that energy, do that energy. So we have just a few minutes left together, and I want to share with you now that you consider the ways that you want to do, how that you want to do. That look, feel, sound, and share about these three types of relationships that must evolve as you step into this relationship, the highest quality version that only you can do, that no one else can do for you, and you get to choose consistently to show up for. So the first relationship, the type of relationship that must evolve as you do, is your personal relationship with yourself, mind, body, spirit. This is why we talk about reclamation and decolonization at the personal level first. Because if you do not see yourself as a leader, well, you won't be one, right? You won't show up as one in the world, even though you actually are, right? We can think of people, maybe our friends, that we know they're beautiful, but they don't see it for themselves. And so they don't act like it, they don't embody, they don't take it on, even though we know it's true. Right? So there's an opportunity for you to shift your relationship with yourself. Where do your ideas of what is possible for you need to change? Where do you have ideas that limit the possibilities that you can embody? Where does there need to be a mindset shift? Right? Where in your body do you store your trauma? Where is there tension carried that you've disassociated from and you're not willing to look at because it's scary? That relationship gets to shift. I've been there, and I want you to know on the other side, it's really good. Okay? The other side of healing physical, sexual traumas, healing traumas that live within you, even if they're emotional or mental, they live within you physically. Getting to the other side of that is possible. And the same with your spirit, awakening and evoking your intuitive intelligence, reclaiming that so that you are clear on your direction, on where you are guided to go next. That's the first type of relationship with yourself. This is why we like to do the awareness shake. Check in with your body, see what's going on, where it's tight, where it's tense. Okay, so the second type of relationship is the interpersonal relationship. This is the second type of relationship that must evolve as you do. So relationships with your family, with your friends, with a significant other, with potential, if you have clients, one-on-one clients, how do they see you right now? Because a lot of times what happens is as someone evolves, people, I know you've experienced this, people around you expect you to be the older version of yourself. And so there's an opportunity to shift how you relate to them so that they understand you're evolving. You might even give them the opportunity to evolve with you, but even if not, you're inviting them and actually even enrolling them into the vision of who you are becoming in order to maintain the relationship, in order for you to receive additional support as you go into that space. So those one-to-one relationships are crucial. These are also people, right, that you trust and that you want to come to when things come up. You want to know you have their support, and there are ways to work with them, to communicate with them so that they get it, so that they come along with you. And then the third type of relationship is your relationship to the community, whether that's your family at large, your clientele, your community like this in Africa Week. Really, it's like your personal brand, how people know you. And this is if you have a business or not, just people know you in a certain way, right? A reputation. What is the message they know you to always say? And this is also the place where you really get to understand the difference between who you are personally, if it's in the case of business, who you are personally and what is your personal brand in the world. And also where you can set up really clear and strong boundaries so that as you expand into your greater levels of leadership and visibility, that you can sustain it, right? You must have strong boundaries. You must have strong boundaries. If you don't have them, you will learn to have them. That's the only way, really, to step into this kind of visible leadership concept here. So those are the three things: your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your one-to-one relationship, and your relationship to your relationship. And the thing about visibility is that it is scary. There's lots of elements to it. Like, who do people need to see you as? Right? All these things. And because of this, I'm actually posting the Face European Challenge for women of color and our allies. So anyone who identifies as women, says, not says, all women are invited. I'm posting this inside of Facebook page. I know the link, I believe it's the top there, so I'm excited to join some of the events. And then if you'd like to learn more about our next program, which is all about diving deep into these relationships, it's called Behind the Scenes Academy. So really going behind the scenes of the most visible leaders you see today and allowing yourself to also become the most visible, epically expressed version of your leadership. If you're interested in that, you can also find that at the very same link. I thank you so much for your time and your attention and for choosing to show up as more of yourself in the world today. So thank you for being here. I'm sending you so much love, and I wish you many blessings on your journey. Okay, take care.